Seriously?
You'll meet the people I've known and some that just come and go. And here your life's not your own. Everybody knows what everybody knows. So take a good look and you'll see that they're ordinary people like you and me. Feel free to come to the Village Reef.
We've got to take our golf clubs. They've arranged a competition for Saturday afternoon. Wives included. You'll enjoy playing there. It's a remarkable course, carved right out of the bush. There's one hole, if you slice your drive, you're liable to hit a hippo on the head. It's right next to the river. One of the hazards is elephant droppings on the fairway. They've arranged a party for Saturday night in the lodge at the game park. You fly back on Sunday, be home by lunchtime. Consolidated lease is up 30 cents. Tell CP to buy those. Cheers, dear. We'd be pleased to hear the Maxwells are on the trip. Max suggested you and Alison might like to take a drive up to their wildflower reserve. You know the one. It's about 50 kilometers from the mine. The idea appealed to you? They've arranged a full program, but he thought you might be more interested in that. Di, I asked you if the idea appealed to you.
Hilton, I'm not going with you.
All right. What's the problem?
No problem. I just don't want to go. It's as simple as that.
What brought about this sudden decision?
It hasn't been a sudden decision. I haven't wanted to go from the beginning.
Well, now you tell me, the night before we leave.
For 2 weeks, I have been waiting for just the subtlest indication that you might wonder whether I wanted to go.
Well, why the hell didn't you tell me you didn't want to go?
Because I wanted to hear you ask me. I wanted to know if, just for once, you were going to consider my opinion.
Oh, not again.
Yes, Hilton, again. And it'll be again and again until you realize that I am not something to be carted about everywhere like a golf bag.
What's McCrae got to do with manganese?
Oh, you know how it is.
So how long are you in the driving seat?
Gets back Sunday.
3 days to look at a manganese mine.
Oh, you know how these trips are, Baz. Golf, sightseeing, parties.
Sightseeing?
Yeah, they've got some private game reserve up there.
Sightseeing?
Come off it. When you're GM, you'll go gallivanting all over the place too, huh?
What chance have I got? I didn't marry the daughter of a group chairman.
That's not what counts.
Do you think McCrae would be where he is now if his wife wasn't?
Yeah, because he's got it up here.
And that's all that counts?
No, it counts more than it did. Mining's becoming a pretty sophisticated business, Baz.
You still got to have the practical experience.
No, you need both. McCrae's got them. You still think he hasn't got what it takes?
I've got my reservations.
I had mine too, but I changed my mind. He's pulled this old mine around the corner.
He's not the only one who deserves the credit.
Oh, maybe, but some of his ideas, Baz, they're the kind
Bloody impractical.
Most of them have worked.
What about the time he mucked up?
All right, so he's made mistakes. It's his first job as a GM, and he's learned fast.
I reckon you learn these things before you get to be GM. 1-7, huh?
Yeah. Nice darts.
You want to get beaten again?
No way. McCrae got there pretty young. It's the modern trend. And mostly of anyone my age being appointed general manager, huh? Nah, it's the youngsters like you they're looking for.
I hear Stan Kingwell is being moved to head office.
You've got your ear close to the ground than I have. So Deep Flay's looking for a new number 2, huh? Fancy your chances?
The underground manager's a bit long in the tooth.
Know how he feels.
You're a ball of fire compared to him.
Come on.
No, I think they need someone with a bit more energy, a bit more drive.
Yeah, well, here's luck. At least time's on your side, eh?
What was it this time? Hockey dance or a rugby brawl?
Some head office jaunt into the back of Beyond. Your father's going to be very embarrassed at my absence.
Can always say you were ill or something, indisposed.
Oh, he will. Can you see him meekly admitting that his wife has rejected the privilege of being entertained by head office?
Boy, no wonder he was fuming. Couldn't you have chosen a less important occasion to make a stand on?
I didn't choose it. The crunch had to come sometime. It just happened to come now.
Ma, aren't you being just a little unreasonable?
I would have thought I'd have your backing. You're more independent-minded than I am.
Oh, I'm just trying to look at it from both sides. All these official dues you're supposed to attend, aren't they part of the price of having a successful husband?
There was nothing in my marriage vows which said I had to attend function after function in which I haven't the slightest interest.
I think you're evading the issue.
Oh, you do?
You married Dad because you knew he was on the way to the top. Now he's getting there. You're happy to accept all the benefits, but none of the liabilities.
It's not as simple as that.
I didn't mean to preach a sermon.
It isn't easy to take second place in a man's affections. Particularly when your rival is nothing more than a damn great hole in the ground.
Buller? Does anyone want to go with Basil? Or is it a big secret?
Oh, you probably know more than I do. Women usually do.
Just that Nell's been in a funny mood lately, sort of on edge. At bridge today, she kept dropping hints about it being time that Basil was moved up to something more important. Gave the impression there was something in the air.
Ah, you women. Want a drink, love?
Please. You know Nell. Remember when Harry Styles died?
Yeah?
She was positive that you were going to get the job and that Basil was going to get yours.
Yeah, well, Nell should learn to be a little more patient. Oh, I suppose the whole mine knows.
Knows what?
There's a vacancy coming up on Deep Flame. Assistant General Manager. Cheers, him. Stan King was moving up to head office.
Stan?
I only learned about it yesterday when Basil told me. I suppose if you're looking out for openings, you keep your eyes peeled. If you're not affected, you don't bother.
Nell's the one. She's the one that's pushing Basil. Got more push than he has.
Aha. Dinner party. Am I invited or is somebody I met a friend?
It's CP. He won't mind.
You mean you put up with me as usual? Well, what's new from the salt mines?
What's new from Dick Flay?
Well, the general manager's running for the wife of the compound manager, who's having an affair with the wife of the ventilation officer, who's making eyes at the GM secretary. You know how it is, same old grind.
Dad says Mr. Kingmore's going up to head office.
That's ancient history.
You've heard that even in the survey office?
In the survey office, we know everything. We know that Mr. Kingmore's going to head office, and we know that Speedy Gonzales is going to take his place.
Who?
Tom Clayton. Sorry, Mr. Clayton.
Yeah, what did you call him?
Speedy Gonzales.
Whatever for, Nick?
It's on account of his fantastically fast reflexes. Ask him a question. Excuse me, Mr. Clayton, can you tell me the time? The time? Well, now, let me see now.
Yeah, but hang on. Tom Clayton is taking over from Kingwood, is he?
Sure, who else?
You want to take a bet on it?
You're on 5 rand, 10 rand.
Anything you like.
We almost died of shock when they appointed Hilton McRae, but we recovered.
Well, my money's on Speedy Gonzales.
Thank you. Didn't see Dad before he left this morning.
I didn't either. He slept in the spare room. By the time I got down, he'd already gone. It's the first time he's never said goodbye.
Guilty conscience, that's all.
I doubt it, not Dad.
Yes, he's been taking you for granted and he's too proud to admit it.
I'm the one with a guilty conscience.
Oh, Mom, for heaven's sake. You decided to make a stand. Don't start getting cold feet.
Last night you were on his side.
And last night you were very much on your own side.
No wonder men lose patience with us. We're our own worst enemies. You going out tonight?
No, now I'm going to have a bath. I'm going to go to bed with Chaucer.
Putting your studies before Nick Wilmot? I'd have thought he was taking you to the film at the Rec tonight.
Mother, I do believe you're sniffing.
Sniffing?
For information. You want to know whether I'm still seeing Nick?
You know I never pry into your private life.
I don't know how you get away with it. Right under his nose, too. You're just lucky, that's what I think.
Listen, I'm smarter than you think. I'm the Scarlet Pimpernel of Village Reef.
One of these days, your pimple is going to pop.
Is that so? Look, I know McRae's every movement. Know where he is right at this moment, McRae? 400 k's away. Now, I'll tell you something else. Mr. McRae's away, too. Far, far away in the northern Transvaal.
So, the coast is clear, eh?
The coast is clear, and the Scarlet Pimpernel is about to strike again.
You opened the second shaft.
It was the first shaft.
How could it
See,
possibly
I
be
was
the
there,
first
man.
shaft?
Where were you? You were in head
You
office.
weren't even born when it
Come on.
started.
I was down there at the...
I'm going to do the same as Nick and make a gracious egg. I know you lot. You're going to go on chatting all night.
Right.
Vance, what can I say? You feed me like a king every time I come here.
That's so you'll keep coming back. Night, CP.
My business.
No, I love Steve
Night,
Tighter.
darling.
See you soon. Now, look.
CP, it was
Now,
the first shaft. Ah, come.
Hey! If you want me, come and get me. As general manager of Village Reef, I'd like you all to know that I think you're doing a grand job, chaps, and I'm extremely proud of you. But we can still do better, much better. As long as we pull together as a team, we can put this old mine right on top. Teamwork, that's the spirit, chaps. I want lots more work from you as individuals and much more work as a team.
Well, you do look at home. Why not help yourself to a drink? We've some 10-year-old whiskey in the cupboard. We got it especially to go with the cigars.
I thought you were away on a trip or something.
While the cat's away. Hilton and I suspected something like this was going on behind our backs. We're not naive. We also happen to know our daughter. But that you should walk in here with such supreme nonchalance, it's quite breathtaking.
I'm terribly sorry about this, Mrs. McRae. I really am.
Perhaps you'd care to pour me a drink. Cognac, I think. I'm sure you're as familiar with a cocktail cabinet as you are with a cigar box. Considering we've been neighbors for nearly a year, we've managed to avoid each other pretty successfully, haven't we? Still, I suppose we had to collide eventually. Fortunately for you, it's happened while Hilton's away. He feels rather more strongly about your relationship with Wendy than I do. Not that I approve. But you can't go on closing your eyes and pretending something isn't happening when you know perfectly well it is.
Is that okay?
There's some beer underneath. Oh, there's some coal in the kitchen if you prefer. So, in the circumstances, I suppose we ought to do the civilized thing and at least acknowledge each other's existence. It also occurred to me that since you'd managed to keep Wendy's attention for so long, there must be some reason for it. Frankly, I'd like to know what it is she sees in you.
You know, we're bringing Stan Kingwell into head office from Deepflay.
Yeah, I heard that.
Think about who's going to replace him. The old man's in favor of Tom Clayton. Thinks he'll make a good caretaker AGM before he retires.
Nothing wrong with Tom.
No, Tom's all right, but I'm not in favor of caretakers. I want someone to get in there to do the job properly. I prefer somebody with a bit more go in him than Tom Clayton. Someone to shake the place up a bit.
Yeah, like McRae in this place.
I'm thinking of Basil Clay.
No, Basil's been thinking about it, too.
I'm not surprised. Maybe you can help me on this one, Buddha. Strictly between the two of us.
Yeah.
You know Clay better than I do. What do you think?
Yeah, well, he knows his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got lots of drive.
Mm-hmm. You know, your trouble is you can't bring yourself to say anything against anybody. Now, give me a straight answer. If you were me, would you give him the job?
He isn't ready for it yet.
Yeah, but you'll see, one of these days I'm going to pull out, be on my way.
On your way? Where?
Oh, I haven't exactly planned. Exactly.
You haven't even seriously thought about it. You're quite happy where you are. Good old Nick Wilmot, the daredevil darling of Village Reef.
There's no way I'm spending the rest of my life in this dump.
Oh, it's as bad as that, is it?
It's okay for some. My dad, for instance, he lives for this mine. He won't admit it, but he does. He lives for his job. He believes in it. That's the difference between people like him and people like me. They can believe in it. I can't.
Believe in what?
The whole setup here, the whole crazy scene. You know, the way I see it, it's like living naked in a glass house. Everybody knows everything about everybody else, and everybody's got his place. And don't you know it? I mean, you call the underground manager by his first name or fail to rock up at the GM's cocktail party. Could set you back a lifetime. Some of them don't seem to mind. Some of them even like it. That's not for me. I need room to spread myself. You know, it's just as well Mr. McRae got this job and not my dad. As the GM's son, it would have been a social disaster. Like making Ted Dixon King of England.
You know something? I feel exactly the same way about this place.
Nick! What are you doing?
I just popped in for a chat with your mum.
Yeah, CB, what can I do for you? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. He's going to be upset about it, I can tell you that. If you insist, I'll tell him myself. Cheerio.
Well, I wish they'd make up their minds, that's all. If we have to move, the sooner the better. Gillian's starting school next week. We don't want to have to take her out just as soon as she's settled in.
You know what they're like. They can take weeks making up their minds.
I wish they'd show a bit more consideration to the wives, that's all. Nobody ever thinks of what we've got to go through. New houses, new schools. Oh, thanks, Bits. You've been inside the Kingwells' place. I believe it's huge.
Just quite a big house.
Bigger than this?
Rooms are bigger. Lovely big lounge.
More modern, I suppose.
Oh, well, Deepflay's a much younger mine.
Oh, can't stand these old places. I'll be glad to see the last of them.
Well, that won't be long, the rate they're pulling them down.
Can't be soon enough for me. How's Sally? Getting all excited about the wedding, I suppose.
She and Rocky have gone off to visit Ronald and Jeanette for the weekend. Rocky and Ronald were at university together.
Oh, I'm so glad she's found somebody at last. Really, I was getting quite worried about her. Heavens, 1:30 already. Basil will be home any minute now. Perhaps he'll have some news.
Well, if he is, I hope it's good.
Yeah, look at it this way, Basil. Tom Clayton's only got 2 years to go before he retires.
Vote of no confidence, that's what it amounts to.
2 years is nothing, man.
If I have to wait for all the old wrecks to retire, I might as well resign now.
You'll get your chance.
What chance have I got if they're promoting people like Tom Clayton? He's past it, man. He's 10 years behind the times.
He knows the mine inside out.
So what's he going to do? Take people on guided tours? I don't know how I'm going to break this to Nell.
You want Betts to have a word with her?
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Hold thumbs for Spitz, won't you? Oh, I must be getting home too. Basil will be home any minute now.
Well.
Hello, Buller.
Nell.
I was just saying I must be getting home. Basil hates to get back to an empty house.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, hello,
Hi,
Nick.
Mom.
Hello.
Hey, Dad, have you got your checkbook on you?
What for?
We had a little bet, remember?
Yeah,
5
I
rand.
wouldn't worry about
Don't
that
try
right
and
now.
wriggle out of it. You said Speedy Gonzalez wouldn't get the job. Well, I've got news for you. I've won the bet. What was it, Mom? 20 rands?
Who's Speedy Gonzalez?
Mr. Clayton, fastest gun in the West.
Tom Clayton out at Deep Flame.
That's right, Nell. Apparently that's his nickname. Yeah.
What job?
AGM. Mr. Kingwell's gone to head office, and with the speed that's made him famous, Mr. Clayton has leapt into the vacancy.
Oh, Nell, I had no idea.
Does Basil know?
What have I done now?
Hilton, I thought you weren't coming back till Sunday.
Well, there's no point in hanging about. I saw everything that I wanted to see.
Didn't they mind your leaving early?
But actually, they suggested I come back.
Oh?
I told them that you were not feeling very well.
And you had to stick to your story.
I didn't mind. Hot as hell up there. 103 today.
I know you won't believe this. I missed you.
It's nice to be back.